As Alexander the Great journeyed back from his conquests in India, triumphant yet weary, he encountered a peculiar sight: a hermit sitting under the shade of a solitary tree. The man, dressed in simplicity, radiated a calmness that seemed alien to the battle-worn conqueror. But what caught Alexander off guard was the hermit's reaction upon seeing him. The man burst into a hearty, resounding laugh. Alexander's pride swelled. He was the ruler of the known world, a man whose name echoed through the lands. How dare this simple man laugh at him? He approached the hermit, his voice thunderous. "Do you not know who stands before you? I am Alexander the Great, conqueror of nations and vanquisher of kings. What could possibly amuse you so?" The hermit, his laughter unabated, looked at Alexander with eyes that seemed to peer into his very soul. "Great? And yet here you stand, a man like any other, clad in flesh, bound by hunger, thirst, and the inevitable pull of death. Pray, tell me, what makes you great?" Furious, Alexander demanded, "Are you mad? Do you not fear death? Do you not see that with one command I could end your life?" The hermit, his demeanor unshaken, replied with a question of his own. "Tell me, O mighty conqueror, if you found yourself lost in a vast, barren graveyard where no green grows and flames devoured everything around you, and you were dying of thirst, what would you give for a single glass of water?" Alexander, taken aback by the sudden turn in the conversation, thought for a moment. "I would give half my kingdom for such a glass of water," he declared confidently. The hermit smiled, his calmness almost unsettling. "Only half?" Realizing the depth of the question, Alexander hesitated before confessing, "I would give all of my kingdom for that glass of water, for without it my life would be lost." The hermit nodded and, with a voice steeped in wisdom, said, "If your kingdom, which you pride yourself on, is worth less than a glass of water, then what is the source of your pride? Why do you conquer lands yet fail to conquer your own desires, your ego, your illusions?" For a moment, Alexander stood silent. The weight of the hermit's words began to pierce through the armor of his pride. The hermit continued, "Life is not meant to be a conquest, a pursuit of more. It is not in kingdoms, gold, or the fleeting praise of others that fulfillment lies. Life is a moment, this moment. To live means to breathe deeply in the present, free from the chains of pride and ego. Yet you, O mighty king, are a prisoner of your ambitions, blind to the joy of simply being." The hermit gestured to the world around them. "Look around. The birds do not conquer the skies, they simply soar. The rivers do not claim dominion over the earth, they merely flow. The trees do not boast of their height, they just grow. Why, then, do humans burden themselves with the weight of conquest and pride?" Alexander's shoulders slumped, the weight of his conquest suddenly heavier than ever. "But what is left of life if not the pursuit of greatness?" he asked, his voice now softer. The hermit smiled again, this time with infinite compassion. Greatness is not in ruling others, but in ruling oneself. It is in the stillness of the heart, the humility to accept that we are but travelers in this vast cosmos. Live not in pursuit of what lies beyond, for it is an endless chase. Instead, live here in this moment with gratitude and awareness. For all the gold and glory of the world cannot match the richness of a life lived fully, free from the illusion of control. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the world in hues of gold and amber, Alexander found himself humbled. In the presence of the hermit, he realized that despite his conquests, he had yet to conquer the most important realm of all, his own heart.